So bug reporting. So what bug report? In case if your bug report will be good on, it helps the developers to fix and make the more reliable product. So it is gonna help your developers to get create a new a more reliable product. And how it helps the developers. So it tells the issues where that they aren't aware of. Something like it tells what the issue exactly that has happened. Next, it helps to determine like new features that may not have thought of. Something like you reported a bug, so these all bugs are in track. So if it is something like it is a missing thing, so something like a new feature that need to be added. So you whatever you created is working fine, but this is not self-sufficient. We need to have some other feature. Unless we have that feature, we are not going to we can't continue on this current whatever the development we have or something like that. So it is giving you some new features where you are not even thought of. So it is giving a food for thought, something like a new thought also. So we have something like it helps the developers tells about the issues, helps them determine how the if there are any new features that need to be added, and helps them get a feel how customers use the software so they can make it better. So it is from the overall perspective you are looking the you are looking at the application like from the user perspective. You may be testing it in mobile, you may be testing it in the different resolutions, and you are giving them the report. And so that's about the customers feel. And if you write a bug report effectively, then the bug has more chances to be fixed. So fixing bugs are directly dependent on how you report it. So what does that mean? So if you have not reported the bug, you have not created the bug report, and you are just intimated over them orally. Let us think it is a typical bug and it can be reproduced in many ways, or different cases or different scenarios can reproduce it. In that thing, like you reported it only in one scenario, they might have not thought in another scenario. They might have supplied it only affects that scenario. So the other scenarios may be left the same way, so unattended. So that is the thing. Like if you have not created a report, then it is an overall thing what you have reported. Then there is less chance. There are more chances that they may end up fixing only one scenario. So you have to report the bug, and you have to give the severity and all other information. Then only the developers will have a clear understanding of what need to be fixed and where need to be fixed, and what are the scenarios to reproduce that bug, and what is the status of bug, and all those things. So that is the thing. And coming to like what a bug report should have, we have discussed here what is a bug report and why you should create it, and by creating that how it's going to help your developers development. Here you're going to discuss something about what a bug report should have. So what should go into the bug report? So the useful bug reports are those that result in fixing the bug. Something like what it is being said here is the must and should have of a bug report, and what it is how it should be centered on. So the thing is like reproducible. If reproduce the bug isn't possible, then it won't be fixed. As soon as a developer reproduces and see the bug it will be fixed. So otherwise, the more likely the developer will produce proceed to the next bug report. In the description of the bug, you must clearly describe the steps to reproduce the bug without missing any of them. The thing is like your bug report should give the steps to reproduce the bug. The thing is like what we are mentioning here is just to steps to reproduce the bug. So steps to reproduce. So you don't need all these things. You can say you need steps to reproduce. I just got this from one website actually. So I look where you can get good content. And next, the thing is like specific and informative. So it should be very specific to the problem. It should say what it should like try to be specific and maximum information. So that is something like try to summarize the problem in words, yet in an effective way. In any case, don't combine the multiple problems, even they seem to be similar. Write different reports for each of them. So the thing is, like, you have to write, you should be specific in what all cases this is producing, and for each step or each problem, you have to create a new report. That is, and what are the goals of bug report? You have to explain the bug and help the developer understand the process flow. So that is the thing. So that is only the main goal of the bug report. So explaining the bug and helping the developer to fix it. So that are the major things. And moving on to the next, like what we are discussing till now, what is a bug report and who will create it and why they will create it and what it should have and what are the main goals of it. So we just discussed what it is and why we need it and what are the goals it should have and those things, something like an importance of bug report. And now we're going to discuss actual things that go inside the bug report. So inside the bug report, what all the information we are going to save or report. You have to give the title. The title means short description of what the bug is. For example, error 537 when confirming request, or looking an error or bug. You should not do something like crash. You should not write something like a bug or looking an error. This is not a recommended way. The recommended way is something like it should be a descriptive saying what it is happening, when it is happening. So there is an error, this is what happening, and when it happened is, when means what and when. You can also do what, where, when. This is happening at this point in this, well, when doing this. So this is happening at this point when I do this. So something like that it should the title should be. Then afterwards there should be something like product. So on which product you are working on. It should not be something like a generic. It should be something like specifying product that it is the bug is reported on. Next, you have to have a classification. So this is very important thing to have a classification so that we know the severity, or like we can have a different classification. So the classifications may be depending on the feature, or maybe depending on the severity of that bug, or maybe it may be different. So how you want to classify that is according to your team and how you going to manage it and those things. So that's about the classification part. Then moving on to the next, it should specify in what platform or what way it is happening, like it is happening in the Windows, or it is happening in the Mac system, or it is not happening in a mobile or Android, or it's only the iOS, or it's Safari, or it's it depends. So like where it is happening, so or Google Chrome, where it is happening. And summary, you need to let the summary, there should be a summary. So what the summary is, something like you should specify the steps here. So something like when I click on and the file save as, and you should mention the detailed summary. Clicked on OK button, then the file didn't save, something like you can see here the summary how it should be. So we are discussing what a bug report content should have: title, product, classification, then platform where it is happening, and what is the summary of it. Then steps to reproduce it. So you can also have the steps to reproduce it that we already discussed. So for example, you should not do something like this: home page, left button, click on it. You shouldn't specify something in a generic way. Then shop, click on it, shop, try to buy Smith, you can't. So this is something like a layman language. You shouldn't do that. You have to be very specific. Go to settings. Next, profile. This would take a user to a new screen. Then when you click on profile and tap on more options, delete account. So it is more. So this is something like home page, left button, Left button means left means there might be many buttons. Click on the left button. You have to say something like. So it will be great if you are able to reproduce that bug again. Because of the reproducible bugs are easier to fix, you should describe how to reproduce the bug step by step, as detailed as it is possible. Don't forget, you must be specific. You have to specific. We need to be very specific, because you are guiding the other person to reproduce it. So if there is something you need to mention, you have to mention that. So that is the thing, because they may not be able to reproduce it. Next, the expected result. So what should happen and when you make an action. So like after doing all this, what actually it should happen and what it is happening. So expected result is something like what it should actually happen, and what is happening is like the current result. So then how not to do. So I tried to print, but it didn't work. So you should say something like, from the shop's screen, click on print button. So this is what the expected result should, like what should happen when you make an action. So expected result is, and next content, like actual result. Expected result is that, and actual result is something like that actually it is working on. So what it is giving you, the in actual real scenario, what it is giving you, that is actual. Next, the priority, how priority it is. You can make note of something like 1 to 5 points you can give, or you can say the thing. And next, the severity. So what is the difference between priority and severity? Severity is something like how much extent this bug is gonna influence. Means what are all the applications this is affecting, or what are all the users this is affecting, or what are all the people or concerned parties this is affecting. So this is something like severity is more about how many people it is going to affect. Whereas coming to the priority, how important it is. So that is about priority and severity. And after that we have types of severity. We can have something like blocker, critical, major, minor, trivial, enhancement. These are the severities. And priorities can be a score. So sometimes we will be having either one of them, not all, both, but mostly like we will be having both of them, like in all the systems. But like either one of them is also a fine. So that is the content of bug report. And next, going to do that, we should have the status and the attachments. So what is the status of the bug? So it is a new, verified, or a duplicate, or redundant, or reopened, and won't fix, verified, fixed, and all those things. And attachments. If you can't take a screenshot, do it. If you can take a screenshot, something like you want to share a screenshot with the one who is going to fix a bug, you can share them. That is about the attachments. So this is an example of a bug reporting. Something like summary, whom you are assigning to, what is the issue type, it is about the user story, and what is the severity of it, and what is the priority of it, and mobile build, where it is happening, and what is the build number, that is, and here is the description, and you can add the attached files and save. So this is about this is summary about the report. This is something like what a bug report should have. Then afterwards, so if you remember this, you will be knowing what bug report should have. And coming to a bug report cycle. So when there is a new bug, you assign it, open it, somebody opens it, somebody fixed it, and pending retest, and you retested it, and if it is failed, you assign it, and they do it. If it is passed, then you go for a retest, and verified, then you close. If in the open, you have something like a duplicate, rejected, deferred, not a bug. So these are some of the stages for the bug report life cycle, but it is those things. Next, bug report life cycle, these are the things. So new bug means what, assigned means what, opened, fixed, pending request, retest, and verified. So these are all about bug report life cycle. Like you can easily by going through the names only you will be knowing what it means. So something like you can see here, new, you assigned it, they opened it, fixed it. After that you are pending a retest and you tested it, and they again you gonna reopen it, and for the open you can have the duplicate rejected before and whatever. So same thing I mentioned here in one page and another page. And last we have something called tips for bug writing. So bug report writing. So what are the tips? So what have been happening before, like to fix the bug, debug, developers need to reproduce all the workflow that the tester and system do. So don't forget to describe the steps systematically and informative. So the bug report main intention is for you to report a bug, and you are going to report it to so that the developers can fix it. Next, what was happening before? Like what is happening before means like the bug developers need to reproduce the workflow, so they don't forget and discuss the steps specifically and informative. So what you are going to do in my kitchen, that is, sorry, what you are going to do it in my to reproduce this bug. So what you are going to do to reproduce this bug. So that is what things they are looking into. And next, you have to be specific. You have to say for what all the things this is happening, for what all screens it is happening, for what all browsers it is happening, for what all scenarios it is happening. So that is what you have to mention. And don't get personal. Something like you are reporting about, but don't forget you are reporting about the defect of a software, not defect of the developer. So this should be your attitude. So you shouldn't be personal. Something like, why this is not working? You shouldn't say that. You say this is not working. That is good. So you shouldn't question the other person. I have already informed you. This is not the right way to say. You can say I have informed you. So there are the things I have already informed you is something like you are specifying that I did it and why you have not done. Don't you know to fix these small things? These are the things, wrong questions. Okay. So you should your attention is only on the bug, not on the developer's ability or potentiality or their abilities. So be polite and specific, and don't be offensive or emotional language, because developers will be more getting more personal into that, because they sometimes feel that that is so attached to their life. So next, what is the other thing is like attach and copy and paste. You have a image of it, then attach it, and you have permission to share it, then you should do it. Why? Because if you don't have any image or anything, it is hard for them to visualize the thing sometimes. So you have to give an image or anything, and it will just help them in determining where the issue is and how to fix it and all those things. Next, one defect per report. So you shouldn't do like all the defects in one report. For every bug report there should be one defect only. And next, reproduce a bug before writing a bug report. So make sure that you are able to reproduce a bug before writing the bug report, because if you are not able to reproduce it, then it will be somewhat very hard for the developer to work on. So next, write a good summary. You have to write the summary of how the bug is, and how to reproduce it, and what all things it is affecting, and those things. So that is about the summary. So you should have all these things mainly while into consideration while writing a bug report. So that's all for today, and I think you might have understood the bug report, what all it will be containing and how it looks and all those things. So that's for today's class. Do you have any doubts?
No doubts.
How about
no, Vikas. Yeah, no, Vikas.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all, and please send me some testing cases for whatever the things we have discussed. I gave the login system or something. So take some test cases and send me, and I will evaluate them. So that would be giving you a good start point for writing the test cases. So that's for today's class, and see you again tomorrow.